There's a quiet little thought that tends to cross our minds as we get a little older, maybe after we've passed that 65 mark. It's the feeling that some parts of our lives, the more private, personal parts, are supposed to just fade into the background. That they're no longer important, or worse, that there's something we shouldn't even think about anymore. It's as if society hands us a script that says, okay, your work is done, your family is raised, now just relax and don't worry about all that. But here's the thing, our bodies and our hearts often don't get that memo, do they? The need for touch, for intimacy, for that personal sense of pleasure and release, that's a fundamental part of being human. It doesn't have an expiration date. It's just as natural at 75 as it was at 25. But what does change is the body we're living in. The landscape is different. And just like we learn to navigate a new path on our daily walk to avoid a tricky route, we also need to learn to navigate this part of our lives with a bit more wisdom and care. That's what I'd like to talk with you about today. I want to have a gentle, honest conversation about self-stimulation after 65. Specifically, we're going to talk about the times when it might be wiser to pause, to wait, to choose a different moment. This isn't about creating shame or fear of goodness, no. It's about empowerment. It's about understanding your body's new rhythms so you can enjoy this natural part of life safely, comfortably, and without worry. Think of it as getting an updated owner's manual for a car you've loved and driven for decades. You know how it handles, but a little refresher on the current conditions never hurts. So, let's start with one of the most important times to be mindful, and that's when your body is already working hard to recover from something else. Imagine you've just come home from a minor surgery. Maybe you had a cataract procedure, or a hernia repair, or even just a colonoscopy. Your body is in a state of repair. It's directing energy and resources to that specific site, stitching things back together, fighting off potential infection. It's a dedicated worker, your body. Now, during this time, sexual arousal and orgasm create a significant physical event inside you. Your heart rate increases, your blood pressure rises, and there's a release of various hormones and neurochemicals. For a body that's in a calm, resting state, this is a wonderful, healthy burst of activity. But for a body that's actively healing from a surgical wound, this can be like asking a construction crew to stop building a wall and go run a sprint. It can divert that crucial energy away from where it's most needed. It can strain the system. In the case of certain surgeries, particularly in the abdominal or pelvic region, the physical tension and muscle contractions of an orgasm could even put stress on sutures or internal healing sites. It's not about forever, it's about giving yourself the grace to heal fully. Your doctor will often give you a timeline for resuming various activities, and while this particular one might not be on their standard list, it's perfectly okay to ask. A good rule of thumb is to wait until you're feeling genuinely back to your normal energy levels, and any pain or significant discomfort from the procedure is completely gone. Patience here is a gift you give to your future self, so you can return to all your activities, including this one, with confidence and comfort. Another time to be very mindful, and this is a big one, is when you're feeling unwell. I'm not just talking about a slight sniffle, but a proper, full-blown cold or, especially, the flu. Or any other significant illness. When your immune system is marshaling its forces to fight off a virus or an infection, that is its primary mission. That is its sole focus. It's a massive energy expenditure, even if you're just lying in bed feeling miserable. Adding the physical exertion of self-stimulation and orgasm to that can be like pouring water into a bucket that's already full. It's an extra burden on a system that's already overtaxed. You might find that it actually makes you feel more fatigued afterward, slowing down your overall recovery. Your body is asking for rest, for conservation of energy. Listening to that wisdom is a form of self-care. It's about choosing to curl up with a warm blanket and a cup of tea, allowing your body to do its heroic work, and knowing that this personal pleasure can wait for a sunnier, healthier day. It will be there for you when you're feeling strong again. And this leads us to a third point, which is perhaps the most common and yet the most overlooked, the interplay between certain medications and timing. Now, this is a conversation, not a diagnosis, so please always talk to your doctor or pharmacist about your specific medications. But many of us, as we age, take medications for things like blood pressure. These are wonderful, life-saving drugs, but they work by managing how our cardiovascular system functions. Sexual activity, even by yourself, is a form of exercise for your heart and blood vessels. If you've just taken your blood pressure medication and it's at its peak effectiveness in your system, layering a physically arousing activity on top of that can sometimes cause a sharper drop in blood pressure than is comfortable. You might feel dizzy, lightheaded, or even faint. That's a risk we simply don't need to take. So, what's the safer approach? It's about timing. Perhaps instead of that morning or evening time when you routinely take your pill, you might choose a time of day that's further away from your medication dose, when its effects are a bit more steady and less at their peak. This isn't about being scared of your medication, it's about working with it. It's about learning the rhythm of your own body in relation to the pills you take and making a small, smart adjustment to ensure everything works in harmony. It's a simple shift that can make all the difference between a worrying moment and a perfectly safe, enjoyable one. Now, these are just a few of the key moments where a little pause can bring a lot of peace of mind. But there's another side to this coin. It's not just about when to be cautious, but also about how to create an environment of safety and comfort for yourself when the time is right. And that's a wonderful place for us to continue our conversation. You know, it's interesting. When we talk about safety, our minds often go to the big, obvious things, like looking both ways before crossing the street or taking our medications on time. But safety, especially when it comes to our personal and private lives, is so much more than that. It's about creating a foundation of comfort, both inside and out, so that we can truly relax and enjoy the moments we set aside for ourselves. It's about tending to the garden, so to speak, before you sit down to enjoy its beauty. So, let's talk about that foundation. One of the most important, and often unspoken, aspects of feeling safe and comfortable is our environment. Where and when we choose to engage in self-stimulation can have a huge impact on how we experience it. Think about it. If you're constantly worrying about whether someone might walk in, or if you're feeling rushed, it's very difficult to relax, isn't it? Your body stays in a state of low-grade alarm, and that tension works directly against the pleasure and release you're seeking. This is why creating a private, secure space is so crucial. For many of us, that might simply mean ensuring the bedroom door is locked, or choosing a time of day when we know we won't be interrupted. It's about giving yourself permission to claim that time and that space as your own, without guilt or apology. It might sound like a small thing, but that sense of security allows your nervous system to switch from a state of caution to a state of allowance. It tells your body and mind, it's okay, you can let go here. You are safe. And that makes all the difference in the world. It transforms the experience from something furtive and anxious into something peaceful and genuinely fulfilling. Now, let's move from the space around us to the very practical matter of the space on us. Our skin. As we get older, our skin often becomes thinner, more delicate, and a bit drier. It's a natural part of the journey. And this is where a conversation about lubrication becomes absolutely essential. I know for some, especially if it wasn't something you needed when you were younger, the idea of using a lubricant might feel a bit strange or unnecessary. But I want to encourage you to think of it not as a sign of something being wrong, but as a wonderful tool for comfort and enhanced pleasure. Using a good quality, water-based, or silicone-based personal lubricant is one of the simplest and most effective ways to prevent irritation, chafing, and small tears in sensitive tissue. It reduces friction to virtually nothing, allowing for gentle, comfortable stimulation. It's an act of kindness to your body. Think of it like putting a little oil on a squeaky hinge. It just makes everything work more smoothly and prevents wear and tear. If you've never used one before, you can find them in most pharmacies, and there are many gentle formulas made specifically for sensitive skin. It's a small investment that pays off in a big way in terms of comfort and safety. And this leads me to another point that is just as important as the physical environment, and that's our emotional and mental environment. What we're thinking and feeling as we approach this time with ourselves. So many of us carry around old messages, sometimes from childhood, sometimes from a different era, that whispered that this kind of self-exploration was somehow wrong or shameful. It can be a quiet, background noise in our minds that subtly undermines our ability to fully enjoy our own bodies. If that resonates with you, I want you to consider a gentle reframing. This isn't about something seedy or secretive. This is about self-care. It's about understanding your own body's capacity for pleasure and release. It's a natural, healthy part of human sexuality that continues for a lifetime. It can relieve stress, help you sleep better, and remind you that your body is still a source of comfort and joy. Giving yourself that mental permission slip to explore, to enjoy, to connect with yourself without judgment is perhaps the most powerful form of safety there is. It's the safety to be yourself, fully and completely, in your own skin. But our physical comfort doesn't stop with lubrication. Our bodies have changed, and our mobility and flexibility might not be what they once were. Maybe there's a touch of arthritis in the hands or a shoulder that doesn't have the same range of motion. This is where a little creativity can come in. The goal is pleasure, not strain. So, think about your position. Are you in a comfortable position that you can maintain without your back or your arms starting to ache? Propping yourself up with pillows can be a wonderful help. There are also gentle, ergonomic tools available, sometimes called personal massagers, that are designed to reach places without requiring you to twist or hold an uncomfortable position for a long time. The key is to listen to your body. If something feels awkward or is starting to cause a dull ache, it's your body's way of asking you to adjust. This is a time to be gentle and accommodating with yourself, not to push through discomfort. All of this, the private space, the lubrication, the gentle self-talk, the comfortable positioning, it all weaves together to create a tapestry of safety. It's about removing the little obstacles and worries so that the experience can be exactly what it's meant to be, a positive, healthy, and enjoyable part of your life. But there's one more layer to this, a deeper one that connects directly to our overall well-being, and that's the importance of listening to the messages our bodies send us, not just during, but especially after. And that is a perfect place for us to continue. It's a quiet truth, isn't it? That the most important conversations we have are often the ones we have with ourselves. And a big part of that conversation, especially as we navigate these later years, is learning to listen, truly listen, to the gentle whispers and sometimes the not-so-gentle signals our bodies are sending us. We've been talking about creating a safe and comfortable environment, both outside and in, for self-stimulation. But the single most important safety tool you have isn't something you can buy in a store. It's your own innate ability to pay attention to how you feel, both during and, just as crucially, after the fact. Think of it like this. After a good, brisk walk, you feel a healthy tiredness in your legs, a sense of accomplishment. But if you felt a sharp, stabbing pain in your knee, you'd pay attention, wouldn't you? You'd rest it, maybe put some ice on it, and if it persisted, you'd think about seeing the doctor. The same principle applies here. Self-stimulation should not cause pain. A little muscle fatigue, perhaps, from tension, but genuine pain, whether it's a sharp sensation, a persistent ache, or any discomfort in your chest, is your body's red flag. It's its way of saying, stop, something isn't right here. Now, what kind of sensations are we talking about? If you experience any significant pain in your pelvic region or genitals during or afterward, that's a clear signal to pause and take note. Similarly, and this is very important, if you feel any unusual pressure, squeezing, or pain in your chest, shortness of breath, or a heart rhythm that feels odd or frantic, you must listen. These could be unrelated, but they could also be signs that your cardiovascular system is under more strain than it can comfortably handle at that moment. This isn't meant to scare you, but to empower you. Knowing this allows you to be your own best advocate. If such a thing happens, stop, rest, and if the sensation doesn't quickly pass, or if it ever feels severe, don't hesitate to seek medical advice. It's always better to be safe and get something checked out. Your peace of mind is worth it. But listening to your body goes beyond just watching for warning signs. It's also about tuning into your energy levels. How do you feel afterward? Do you feel relaxed, content, and perhaps ready for a good night's sleep? That's a wonderful, healthy response. Or do you feel utterly drained, wiped out for hours afterward? If it's the latter, that's valuable information. It could mean that the time of day you're choosing isn't quite right. Perhaps doing it right before you need to be active and alert isn't the best fit for your body's rhythm. Maybe it's a sign that you were already overly tired to begin with, and your body would have preferred you to just rest. Adjusting based on this feedback is a form of self-respect. It's about cooperating with your body's energy, not working against it. This whole conversation, from start to finish, really boils down to one beautiful, powerful word: mindfulness. It's about being present in your own body, with kindness and without judgment. It's recognizing that this aspect of your life is a natural, healthy part of who you are, at any age. It's about letting go of any outdated stories or shame that you might have carried for far too long and replacing them with a gentle, practical understanding of your body as it is today. So, to bring it all together, remember these key things. Be mindful of your body's recovery time after an illness or surgery. Work in harmony with your medications by considering the timing. Create a private, secure space where you can truly relax. Use lubrication as a simple, powerful tool for comfort and to protect sensitive skin. Listen, always listen, to the messages of pain or extreme fatigue your body sends you. And finally, give yourself full permission to enjoy this part of your life as a valid and meaningful form of self-care. Small, thoughtful adjustments can make a profound difference in your comfort, your safety, and your overall enjoyment. This isn't about adding a list of restrictive rules to your life. It's quite the opposite. It's about learning the nuances of your magnificent body now, so you can continue to enjoy the fullness of your life, including this personal and pleasurable part, with confidence and joy. I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. If you feel comfortable, share what has worked for you, or a small discovery you've made about your own health and well-being on this journey. There's so much we can learn from each other's experiences. If this conversation was helpful, please give the video a like. It lets me know what matters to you. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more gentle, honest talks about living your very best life at every age. Remember, your well-being is a lifelong journey, and it's never too late to learn something new that helps you live it more fully. Here's to your health, your happiness, and to embracing every part of what makes you, you.